Well, this is a mystery guitar. I don't know what it is. It has a neck with a bolt for adjusting the truss rod. But is it original? Because if you look at the cutout around the pickguard, it's a little bit rough, and you'd think if it was original, the cutout, the plastic around the pickguard would be neater. So that's a little issue. It's all original that I can tell, except for it's one or two of those pots that have been changed. This tells me on the back of it that it's made in Japan. And it could be made in Japan, the body, and we'll see about the neck, because it's a very, very heavy piece of wood. And looking at the wood, it could be, well, I'm not going to guess, but it says made in Japan there. Doesn't have a back plate on it. It's got a few dings and scores and scratches. Looking at the screws, they don't look like they've been replaced or turned too many times, so I'm not sure about that. Now the neck is nice. To me it looks like maple. Nothing special about the tuners. They're a little bit, see the little round knobs, they're not that common. There is an issue with it. I don't know about the neck yet, but I don't know whether it's got straight or not. But you can see there, the fretboard delaminating, I think is the word they use. I think we'll have to figure out why that is the case. It's also delaminating. I don't think it's actually delaminating. It's the fretboard's coming away. Delaminating would mean the top part of it. There's another little thing here that I don't understand. What are these circles? You know, I just don't understand. It's actually a crack there. How would those circles happen? It's actually a crack. It's more than just a circle. Was this done at the factory because the wood was damaged and they put in plugs or something, and the plugs have come loose? You know, if there's a bit of damage there, they might put a plug of wood in and glue it in. You know, I don't know. I don't know whether we'll ever find that out. A few chunks and jump bumps and bases. Nothing exciting on the end to tell me whether it's any more information. That's an unusual nut on the jack plug, but that doesn't tell me anything either. Now the frets are in need of some work because they're very sharp. The body's really high quality, really good wood, and the fact that this neck is really sharp would rip the fingers off you, love. Makes me wonder if the neck's not a separate issue to this. And there's the head with no logo on it, no nothing. So what we're going to do is take the neck off, take the body off, and see if we can trace it any further. But before that, I'm going to put the big camera on and check the neck and check the electrics. Okay, this is how I got it with no strings. Okay, bye-bye. Bye. Whilst we're in this position, let's just check the straightness of the neck first. Doesn't matter too much because that fretboard has to be fixed, but let's just see what it says at the moment. It surprisingly says that the neck is dead straight until there, and then it's got an underbow in it, which is the opposite of what I would expect it. That doesn't fill me with confidence, because if that's got an underbow and it's coming away up that way, I don't know what that will cause it, you know. Those are painted on little dots, they're little drops of red, which makes me again think that the neck may be an add-on. There's some scores there, some bad scores. Why there are bad scores there, I don't know. I would even hesitate to guess, I would even hesitate to guess and say that this guitar neck hasn't been played. Maybe I'm wrong there. Maybe I'm wrong. There's some little dents, but very little wear. So I'm going to take this off. Well, let's take the neck off first, right? So don't use electric tools. Don't do as I do. Do as I say. Let's just see. They're in pretty good condition. Okay. Let's see what the neck tells us. Do I have a box for the neck? Let's just see what the neck tells us. Come on down, neck love. Let's see if the neck tells us anything. Nothing there. Nothing there except for that. Don't think that plate's been taken off for a long time because that paint's come off with it. Doesn't mean a lot though. Let's just see what the neck says. Neck says nothing. It's got a shim there. It says nothing. It's got a shim to get it straight, and on the other side there's nothing there. Looks like good wood, that though. Could even be mahogany, I don't know. Now, is there anything? No, that shim is just sitting there. I'm going to keep that because we may need it. So that doesn't give me any, but just that is interesting, that there. I'm going to loosen that off actually, just to see what it does to the neck. I'm going to loosen it off quite a bit. Right, okay, it's an unusual nut, but let's just check the level of it now. The interesting thing is that me loosening it off has made it dead straight, and the underbow's gone there. And there's Georgie Girl coming. So the next thing to do is to take off this to see if we have any clues. Georgie Girl wants a cuddle, so pause. Georgie Girl needs a cuddle. Do you want a cuddle? Is that what you're saying to me? Yes, Georgie Girl wants a cuddle. Right, okay. Pause till later. Okay, that was a short little cuddle. Maybe about 5 minutes long. But every cuddle is appreciated. Now, are you going to tell us anything new, pickguard? Are you going to give us any clues to the identity of this? Why are you not? Right, okay. Feels a little bit heavier than your standard pickguard. So I don't think it's one of the really cheap ones, which is a good sign. But let's, oh, what's happening here? Yes, right, the earth wire is there and it's pulling out, so which means I can turn this around. There's an extra magnet stuck to the bottom of those. A25s and a B something, A250s maybe that says. It doesn't look that special. It doesn't look that special, and also that cutout is not that great, so makes me think about the neck again being different. Oh, you know what I should have done? I should have tested this, shouldn't I? Shouldn't I? Right, okay, let's just test it now. Put the amp on. Silly boy, aren't I? I should have tested it. There's some humming. It's all sounding okay. That switch is extremely dirty. But all the electrics are working, but very dirty. So, I'm going to need a good cleanup. But am I any wiser now? Does anybody else have any ideas? Is it just a cheap guitar? But that wood is good quality. That's really good quality wood. And those pickups look a little bit different than others. They've got another lump of magnet on the bottom, attached to the bottom of them. And the switch has got DM50 written on the side of it. I don't think you can see that, but DM50. I'll do a little bit of research and see if I can find anything out to do with any of this. And that's a B, I think it's a B2, it actually has a number on it. Oh, what does that say? That says JD loves GD. JD loves GD. I wonder if they knew that they gave a guitar away that was dedicated to lovers. Anyway, I'm going to do some research and see if that means anything. The DM50, I can't see it. It's a proper switch. It looks nicely wired, but I think it's, let me look at it closer. And it's going to be an easy switch to clean. It's not a bad board. It's not your standard run-of-the-mill board, but I can't tell you much about it. Oh, well, I'll do some research. DM50 might give me a year or something. Okay, it's all working. Just no clues as to where it originated from. Okay. This is not an easy guitar neck to fix, because if you look there and there, you'll see that it's coming away. But when I put clamps on it, it doesn't close up properly. Okay? Same on the other side. It's coming away there and there. But even the clamps are not letting me close it up, because it must have been there for a long time. And
Albert Tanglewood Ovation said,
yeah, somebody's offering me a big saw, a brilliant saw with a laser thing on it. What was I saying? Yes, it's not doing that either. When I close it up, it's not closing down. So the easiest thing to do would be to take the fretboard off. But I don't want to do that because this is high gloss. And for me to get it back on again, it'll be a pain in the butt. The only hope may be that it might come off easily, because it seems to be coming off. But this is not the main issue. The main issue is this truss rod. It's not doing what it's meant to do. When I tightened it up, let me just make sure I'm saying right. At the moment it's pretty straight, but there's an underbow on that part, right? So if I squish that together, it'll bring the fretboard down, bring a bigger underbow on it. Okay? Let me just see this side. I haven't looked at this side properly yet either. Now, on this one, there's a slight underbow there. But when I tighten it up, it does do that, but it's completely loosened off now, and it's not settling back down into position. So the truss rod isn't doing what it needs to do. Yes, still got an overbow overall on that, but that could be because it was over tightened for many years. I don't want to take that off. I really don't want to take that off, because that's going to be a hell of a job. Especially as it's high gloss, because I can't return it back to high gloss the way it is, because I don't have the tools for that. I'm just testing the bond. The bond looks pretty good too. So I'm that's as much as it closes together with a lot of pressure. It's not closing tight enough for the wood to make contact. This is a high quality neck too, because that's solid maple. It's got some nice attractive pieces in it, and even the head is solid maple, and they've turned this around for the grain, for strength. So I don't want to do this. I don't want to do it. Let me just check the leveling. I'm pretty sure it'll be awful. Let me go down here. This is a bit that's going to be bad. Yeah. I suppose I could use epoxy, but epoxy's not as strong as the wood glue. I have tested that in the past, and the epoxy glue, which I do have, just does not have the same bond capability as the wood glue. I don't know what to do. I don't want to do it, but I'm going to have to do it the right way. I'm going to have to take the fretboard off. And the heater's on already, and it's starting to do its heaty job. It's got a slight imbalance, so those nuts are just to keep it pressed down at the front. So here we go. Where's my tools? Don't want to do this. I know I don't want to do it, but I have to do it, I think. Yeah. And hopefully it'll be nice to me. But what it might do is burn the fretboard because it's high gloss. We'll see that in a second if it happens. You see, look, it's already doing that. It's melting the high gloss of the fretboard, but that's life. Okay, what I don't like, I watch BigClive.com, BigClive.com, right? He's brilliant, but sometimes he gets stuck and he have to say, I'll be right back, and then he shows you the thing finished. Not finished, but taken apart. But I like to suffer and watching me suffer. But I do like to reduce the amount of editing I have to do. So I'm hoping that this is going to be the last bit, so you can see the end result with me at the same time. So Big Clive, if you're watching, Big Clive, I hope you are watching. I love Big Clive, he's brilliant. Got a dry sense of Scottish humour, lives in the Isle of Man. And if you're into the things that I'm doing here, you'll be more into his as well, because he's brilliant. Yeah, takes apart things and explains them. Right. Right, that's very clean. That's a very nice clean takeoff. Burnt, but we'll worry about that another angle. All the frets are okay. The truss rod, well, there's not much I can do with the truss rod. Let me plug the plug here. My job next is to clean this up and sand it and get it flat as straight as anything, and that as well. But you can see, I don't know whether you can see, but there's hardly any glue there, and there. So that's why it came off. Glue's missing there, and there, and you can see there's only a smidgen of glue there. So I'm going to clean this all up, and then the next thing you'll see that me gluing that back on again and tidying it up and seeing what I can do with this fretboard. Okay, it's maple fretboard too. So it's a nicely made guitar all round. This would date it, this here at the end would date it to me to the 80s, 70s and 80s. Alright, okay. Right, let your eyes get accustomed to what you see. There's the neck. It's been sanded down completely, right down to the wood. All the glue's gone off it. And I was right about what it wasn't sort of a wood glue. It was some sort of rubbery resin thing, because it came off with beads instead of dust. It came off in beads, and the same with that. So that's now completely flat. So what I'm going to do now is slather it with glue, clamp it together. And I haven't rehearsed this like I lectured you on the other day, but I have a pretty good idea where we're going with it. This piece of wood will go on the top. The other pieces of wood will go on the bottom, and we'll clamp them. But we'll do little clamps first just to get it in position, and then we'll put the more tighter clamps on. So let's get stuck into gluing. I want to get this done and get it off the bench, you see, so that's why I'm sort of keeping at it. You see, I'm one of these people on YouTube that show you warts and all, errors and all. I used to watch, Rosa wasn't like that. Rosa would show you everything as well. You know, if he made a mistake, he'd say, oh, look what I've done here. But there's too many of these luthiers saying, look, it's just like this. You just do this, and you just do this, and you just do this, and that pops this beautiful £30,000 guitar. Right, okay. Well, I don't make guitars, so that's me out of the picture for a start. So I suppose I shouldn't call myself a luthier, because luthiers make guitars. I'm just a guitar repair guy, so and I can repair guitars that other people can't repair because they have to make a living at it. I don't have to make a living at it, so I'll take in the most cheap old guitars you can see and have a go at fixing them. So that going on top of that, roughly. Don't want to waste the brush, so give me 2 seconds. That's how cheap I am. I didn't want to waste brushes. But I just don't have the space for it. I hardly have the space for me. I weighed myself the other day. Oh, God bless us. Don't ever do that again, Austin. I was 12 stone. I went up to 12.5 stone. And then I weighed myself and I says, you see, if I've reached 13 stone, I'm going on a strict diet. Guess what? I'm on a strict diet. Self-imposed strict diet. Because I weighed 14.5 stone. But there you go. That's it, ready to dry up. And now I'm ready to dry up as well. Boom, 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 boom. Right, okay. See you later. Bye, bye. Well, I don't know. I just heard Merle Haggard singing It's All in the Movies. And that's a wonderful song. One of the greatest. And it can't get it out of my head. But I can't play it in the background while I'm putting strings on this. But as you can see, the neck's put together. It's all back together. And it's been straightened out and fixed up. I can barely remember what this guitar is about, because it's been with me 5 months. And I've had the strangest 3 months over the last 3 months. So I'm going to put the strings on and see where we are with this, because I don't remember where we are with this. I do know that it was a bit of a mess when I first came in, and when I'm doing the video editing I'll know better what this guitar is about. But is it my brain that's pickled, or is it just the length of time and what's been going on the last 3 months? I've done a couple of guitars for video in the last 3 months. I have to stop saying the last 3 months, but I have done a couple of guitar videos, but it hasn't been something I've been able to work on a lot. And YouTube doesn't like that, and they put you down the list of things to watch and stuff like that there. But I'm not going to be a slave to YouTube. If I don't like doing something, I'm not going to do it. So, but it has been weird. We had the council elections, and then we had all the scandal of the papers going after me because I was the election agent. And then I got extremely busy with my real work that makes me money, and I'm still not quite out of that busyness period yet, but I'm happy to have it because it makes me lots of money to keep going and doing this, because I do this for charity, as you know. Georgie Girl's still going strong, and I'm delighted, touch wood, you know, and she's almost got all her fur back, and she's being just as annoying as usual. I don't know where she is now. I think she's got so many resting places in this house that I'd built for her, so she could be anywhere. Okay, I'm going to speed the rest of this up. I like these Orphe strings. They're relatively inexpensive. Actually, they're quite inexpensive, but I do like them. They're a little bit shorter than your average string, but they do fit. You don't get an awful lot of room on a Strat style. Now, I'm going to weigh this guitar because I haven't picked it up for a while since I did the neck, and it feels like it weighs made of steel. It feels very heavy, so I'm going to go get the scales and weigh it, and I'll put up on the screen the weight of an average Stratocaster, but it's set in pounds, as you see, so I want to weigh this. £9.2. I'll convert that to kilos for you young pups. And I'll put up on the screen what a Stratocaster normally is weighing, but it does feel like it's made of a brick, this thing. Anyway, now I'm going to get it playing, adjust everything down here, pick up heights, check the intonation, make sure there's no buzz on the fret, and I'll do that off camera because you don't want to see all that crap. I've done that before a million times for you. That there needs some work at the edge there. Alright, come back to you. Okay, I haven't brought it up to tune or anything yet, but I want you to look at that, the string height. Let me just see if you can see it. I don't know if you can see that string height. It's far too low. But it's low across the whole neck. If you look from there, let me just see if it's maybe better on the bass strings. You might be able to see it. If you look at it about there, it's very low to the fret, right? And if you look at the whole way down there, it's not so bad on the bass side, but on the treble side, it's touching the whole way down. Now, that could be easily adjusted with the intonators, pulling the intonators up, but they're at mid position now, and I don't want to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little shim on this side in the hope that I can keep the bass strings. Yeah, I'm going to put a little shim just at the front of this on that side, just at the front of this on that side. You can't see that very much, can you? Just under there, shim about there to pull the neck up that way and give me some more room there, so I don't have to pull the intonators right up to the height. I'm probably going to have to do the shim across the whole of the front of there to bring the guitar up, bring the guitar neck up, but we'll see. Let's just leaving the strings on, right, because I'm hoping to do this. I haven't tuned it yet, but what I'm hoping to do is just loosen this like that, right, and then put a shim in there while it's loose in there. Okay, I'll show you what I mean, but I'll not do it now. I'll just show you what I roughly mean in case you're cracking up and saying he's losing his marbles. Well, I probably am, but I'll put the shim in there, and that should give me Yeah, it's already given me a good, but I think it has to be something a little bit thicker than that. Okay, I'll come back to you when I've done that. Right, you can still see nothing, but it took 4 of them at the top, and the neck tightened. I took all the screws off and put some extra matchsticks in there as well. But now I've got more than I need in the way of action, and that means I can drop those down if I need to. I don't think I need to, they're about right. But we'll see as we go along now that I've got there. So I'll pause and get back to my work. Well, here's this little Japanese Strat copy, and it's looking fairly well all round. The neck is now working properly and everything's working properly, but I can't really... I'm trying to think of something good that I can say about this guitar, but I can't. It's guitar to me that the neck's not great. Maybe it's because I fixed the neck that I don't think it's great, but it's... And probably somebody could play it better than me and it'd be good. The action down there's acceptable. The tuners are not great. They should be replaced, but I don't recommend it because this guitar is not worth it. I suppose I could say that the neck looks good. Got some lovely finish on it there. Pickups are a big letdown because there's no high end on them. Very dull sounding pickups. And there's not a great deal of volume out of them, so moan. You need to change the pickups for something better. Guitar's quite heavy, which means it's a good solid piece of wood. It's probably really genuine hardwood. And the neck, well, you know, I would say that the best you get for this guitar is about 70 quid. Maybe lucky if somebody wants it 80 quid, but it still has the dings and dangs on it, and it's got the back open, which I may put a plate on it. Not sure whether I need to or not, because that's all part of it. All right, okay, let's just check the tuning here. Very negative about this guitar, aren't I? Okay, now this is my volume, half volume as usual, and plain amp. Not much sound there, not a great deal of sound. Now it's all working okay. Let's just let you hear the different tones. Middle. Neck. There's not a great deal of variation there, you know, if you're playing up high. Anyway, I think I've made the point here that the pickups are poor. And I'll just play a couple of chords. I think the only thing I can do is play my favorite chord on this and let you see it, let you hear it. Just check the tuning again. All the way back. Hardly any volume. Oops. All the way front, maybe probably the best for this. This is probably the best way for this guitar. think a decent little player for somebody. Action's just a bit too high there. It might be able to be brought down, but I think I'm going to leave it like that, because you bring it down too low and it might buzz for somebody. But all right, it's going home to Daddy, and Daddy's going to sell it, I think, because it's an okay guitar for a starter or a person who's just getting started. Okay, not very positive was I on this? I'm not very positive on this. Sorry.